Welcome to KaiChi Live. I'm KaiChi, and it's my Hamster and Gretel review. In this episode titled Close Shave, in the beginning of the episode, we see Gretel want to go to school early to sneak in Hamster as backup because she suspects her substitute teacher was evil because of his mustache and goatee, and they call it Van Dyke, I guess. Gretel has these hunches, which she calls hero hunches, similar to Spider-Man, which she thinks alerts her to situations or people that are evil or villainy. But Kevin mentioned that her hunches can be wrong because she destroyed 3 of their neighbors' cars, 1 gazebo, and also a mailbox. In this episode, we see Kevin and Fred doing a book report on Sigmund Freud. They seem to be in the same class. It's just fun to see because they were doing their own thing, and Hamster and Gretel doing their own thing also. Gretel turned out she was right. Not the guy was evil. It turns out it was a mind-controlling mustache and goatee called Van Dyke. He called himself the Van Dyke. Took over this guy because he suspected Gretel was just a normal girl and a pet hamster, where he substituted throughout the town as a substitute teacher until he found them. Turns out how he found them was because Gretel was right-handed and Gretel was right-handed. And I just like that. That doesn't make sense. Most of them are right-handed, but then again, it's cartoons where sometimes we see one character writing something right-handed and left-handed, because it's easier to draw that way. They fight, and we see a scene of them fighting. I was surprised that the Van Dyke, I'm going to call him Van Dyke, was able to float and fight Gretel on a standstill. And Hamster couldn't get involved because he think Gretel might hit him. But they somehow, of course, end up a barber shop. Well, of course, he's a mustache and beard, a Van Dyke, where he was almost got shaved off. At the end of the fight, Van Dyke was able to control Gretel, but fortunately, Hamster was able to get him off of her. But he was almost trying to get back, control Gretel. Kevin jumped in the way. He controlled Kevin. And this is the part where I think Fred saved the day. She happened to have some hair removal and spray on the villain. It was not hair removal. For some reason, it stung the villain. And they had this weird, a cartoony back in the 80s where near the end, the villain got away, but off camera, we see the villain got hurt more. So the villain's trying to run away. He got run over by a lawnmower, even though we never saw the lawnmower, and him begging to be put back together. And we see the heroes walk off to the sunset. Well, not sunset, back home. Whether or not Kevin should have power, no. He was doing something in his own class, and Gretel was doing her own thing in her own class. So even though he had powers, the Van Dyke might have taken control over him, and Gretel might have figured a way to get it off him, but not really. He doesn't need this power in the episode. As for the song, it was alright. It was similar to when Phineas and Ferb in their episode. It was basically the song was describing them, or just a little fun song in the background while the character was doing something. It honestly felt sort of like a Phineas and Ferb episode. Phineas and Ferb doing their own thing, Candace doing her own thing, Perry and Doofenshmirtz doing their own thing, and in the end they all come together. I think definitely like this episode a lot better. Overall, I like this episode. Like I mentioned before, it feels like a Phineas and Ferb episode. Kevin and Fred doing their own thing, Hamster and Gretel their own thing, and all together they come back together. So yeah, I like this episode. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, hit that like button. Click over here to watch my previous videos, and click over here. Subscribe to my channel KaiChi Live for future nerd geeky videos. Thank you.